Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for what is a breaking news update on the channel, because we really have to discuss what is going on with Fermin Lopez. Now, right throughout the summer, his future has been under quite intense speculation, and right here today, it's reached a bit of a crescendo, because we have heard widespread reports now in the media that there is genuine interest coming in from Chelsea in the Premier League, and that there may be an offer on the way to Barca of around 50 million euros for Fermin Lopez. And of course that's gotten everybody talking inside and outside of the club. Should we accept that offer? If a bid of 50 million arrives, should Barca take it? Because of course there's lots of things here to consider. The number one thing would be FFP. We know that Barca need money, they need income there, they need to generate some revenue, and of course that would be a pretty significant sum. Something that I would say though is, that's kind of pocket change, though, for Premier League clubs, and especially for Chelsea here. I've seen them pay, 50 million for bang average players. Fermin Lopez is not that at all. So if it was me personally, I'm already thinking, well, is that it? Is that all we're talking about here is 50 million? But of course, all clubs also realise the situation Barca are in, which does not help us in terms of negotiations. But I think the other thing, guys, that I would say about Fermin, about any player really being linked with an exit from the club right now and generating money, that's all good and well, but we still have a sporting project here. At the end of the day, Barca haven't suddenly become, or they shouldn't be becoming, a selling club. We've lost one of our best centre-backs, Íñigo Martínez. We've already spoken about how much that's already affecting us. Do we now want to lose another player who can certainly help us? We got other players in that area, of course, but you're looking then at Dani Olmo. He is incredibly injury prone, so you're already putting a lot more pressure on him when last season he was unable really to play a long stretch of matches in a row. So I think here with Fermin, it's not just about the money, it's not just about here the club and the financial situation and FFP and all this kind of stuff. We still have objectives, and that objective is ultimately to win out there on the football field, and we shouldn't lose sight of that here. We shouldn't suddenly turn into a club that need to sell players, need to constantly raise money from sort of weakening our squad. That is not what Hansi Flick needs. That is not what we want here as a fan base. But of course there's more to consider too here, in that right now, are we able maybe to sell? If we were to sell for big money, if we were to bring in big money, can we use that in any way? Could we hypothetically use that money to sign another defender? Would that money bolster the squad? Would it actually help us in some way, aside from just financially? Would we be able to reinvest any of that? These are all big, big questions, and that's why right here today, I'm just bringing you the breaking news. I'm opening here some conversation on Fermin, because honestly, I want to know what you think. I want to know how you're feeling right now with these reports coming out, with rumours there of that 50 million bid. Barca are going to have to make some big calls. Fermin himself apparently has 48 hours to decide if he even wants to leave the club, which before we were led to believe that he didn't want to go, that he only wanted to stay this season. But I just want to know how you're feeling, and this feels like one of those situations whereby a lot can change minute by minute. That's why right here, let's get the news out there, let's start some conversation, and tomorrow, guys, on the channel, we will be running through everything in detail. Let's see where we stand tomorrow, but please let me know how you're feeling on this situation right now. As of this moment, would you keep or would you cash in on Fermin Lopez? Let me know, and I will see you soon. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, but until next time, as always, Vesca, El Barça.